everyone, welcome back to Multiverse of Mayhem, where we dive deep into everything Marvel, DC, Star Wars and beyond. Today, we're focusing on one of the most fascinating characters in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, Loki, the god of mischief. Over more than a decade of storytelling, we've watched him evolve from a power-hungry villain to a reluctant hero, and finally to something far greater, a godlike guardian of the multiverse itself. If you've ever wondered how Loki went from the throne room of Asgard to literally holding the timelines of existence in his hands, stick around. We're breaking down his entire journey step by step. Let's start with the first one, the foundation, villain phase. Loki's story begins in tragedy and longing. Born a frost giant on Jotunheim and adopted by Odin, Loki grows up believing he's an Asgardian prince, only to discover later that his entire identity is built on a lie. That revelation fuels everything that follows. He's brilliant, cunning, but deeply insecure, always living in Thor's shadow. His jealousy and need for validation drive him toward manipulation, deceit and betrayal. In Thor 2011 and the Avengers 2012, Loki becomes the face of villainy in the MCU's early days. But even in his darkest moments, like when he invades Earth with the Chitauri army, Loki's motivations aren't one-dimensional. He's not evil for evil's sake. He's acting out of pain, resentment, and a desperate need to prove his worth. It's a villain origin steeped in emotion, not just ambition, and that complexity is what makes him unforgettable. Second phase, the turning point, anti-hero. After the chaos of the Avengers, Loki's arc starts to bend. In Thor, The Dark World, 2013, we see glimpses of a fractured soul beneath the arrogance. His mother, Frigga's death, hits him hard. It's the first time we see Loki genuinely grieving, stripped of his illusions of control. Then in Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi pushes Loki into a new stage, reluctant teamwork. He's still scheming and sarcastic, but he starts choosing to fight alongside Thor rather than against him. Their banter, their history, their grudging respect, all of it humanizes him. By Avengers Infinity War, Loki's transformation becomes undeniable. In the film's opening moments, he stands before Thanos and sacrifices himself to protect Thor, a poetic inversion of everything he used to be. The god who once wanted to rule Earth now dies defending someone else. It's brief, but it's the culmination of years of subtle change. Going on to the third part, the awakening hero phase. But thanks to the time-traveling chaos of Avengers Endgame, Loki gets a second chance. Literally, the 2012 version of Loki escapes with the Tesseract, branching off into a new timeline, leading us into the Loki Disney Plus series. Here, the TVA captures him, stripping him of power, ego, and illusion. For the first time, he's forced to confront who he really is. Through Mobius, Sylvie, and the TVA's mysteries, Loki starts learning empathy and introspection. He sees the full timeline of his original self's life, his triumphs, his failures, his death. That's the key moment. Loki finally faces his own reflection. The god of mischief starts to ask questions about purpose, morality, and love. His connection with Sylvie, his own variant, becomes symbolic. She represents self-acceptance, the idea that Loki must learn to love and forgive himself to truly evolve. By the end of season 1, Loki isn't fighting for power anymore. He's fighting for meaning. Finally, the ascension, god of the multiverse phase. Then comes Loki season 2, arguably one of the most profound chapters in MCU storytelling. As timelines unravel and the TVA faces collapse, Loki realizes that the only way to preserve existence is to become something greater. In the emotional finale, Loki takes his place at the center of the multiverse, holding together infinite branching timelines, sacrificing freedom for duty. It's a moment that mirrors classic myth, a trickster ascending to divinity. This isn't the Loki who wanted a throne, it's a Loki who understands the weight of power. He's no longer chasing recognition, he's embracing responsibility. He's gone from god of mischief to god of stories, a being who sustains the narrative fabric of reality itself. It's poetic. The liar becomes the protector of truth. The destroyer becomes the preserver. Now, let's pause and unpack the deeper meaning behind Loki's evolution. Identity and belonging. Born a frost giant, raised an Asgardian, remade as a TVA variant, Loki's entire journey is about finding where he fits in the universe. Ambition versus responsibility. He starts by chasing control and ends by choosing sacrifice. Power becomes purpose. Change by choice. Loki isn't redeemed by anyone else. His growth is self-driven. That's what makes it powerful. Legacy and meaning. His story goes from I want to be king to I want to protect the story itself. That's ultimate growth. And these aren't just character beats. They're reflections of humanity. We all grapple with identity, ego, and purpose. Loki embodies that struggle on a cosmic scale. Loki works because he's never static. He doesn't become perfect. He becomes real. Every choice, every betrayal, every tear feels earned. He's funny, charming, flawed, and tragic. A Shakespearean character in superhero form. And through him, Marvel explores one of its most mature ideas, that even the most chaotic soul can choose to grow. For the MCU, Loki's transformation matters more than ever. He's literally holding the multiverse together, a role that could shape everything from Avengers, Secret Wars, to the next generation of heroes. So what's next for Loki? Now that Loki has embraced his destiny as the guardian of timelines, the big question remains, what happens next? Will he ever return to the main timeline? Can he reunite with Thor? And now that he's more god than man, will he still carry that mischievous spark that made him beloved in the first place? Probably, because no matter how divine he becomes, Loki will always be the trickster who defied fate and won. His story isn't over, it's just entered a new realm, one where gods, timelines and identity all intertwine. So there you have it, Loki's character evolution from villain to hero to God. What do you guys think of Loki's arc? What's your favourite Loki moment? The villainous invasion, his heartbreaking sacrifice, or his ascension as the multiversal god? Don't forget to comment down your thoughts below. Thanks for watching Multiverse of Mayhem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Loki's evolution, hit like, subscribe and ring that notification bell. We've got more breakdowns coming your way. Stay curious, stay chaotic and keep exploring the Multiverse of Mayhem. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.